welcome to Kapow Toys Presents. I'm your host King Grimlock, and today we're going to be taking a look at Perfect Fix Ninja, or their homage of Rosanna from the Kiss Player line in the Generation 1 continuity. For those who don't know what Kiss Players are, never ever go to look it up. So, let's take a close look at what they've done. Now you might recognise this little lady. She's very similar to the Shadow Warrior, design, but this is actually the new mould. This is the Ejector Rewinder mould, so it's the Autobot equivalent of it. And basically what's happened, this has solved all the little problems that original mould had, and improved in other areas as well. It's not that different. To be perfectly honest, I do have my Shadow Warrior here. I can't bother transforming because he's horrible to transform. And he's in one piece at the moment. I'm going to keep him like that. To do a comparison, it's not worth it. This girl looks fantastic. I'm utterly blown away. My opinion of the Shadow Warrior has gone up after spending time with this. The paint job is fantastic, the colour scheme works really well. I know most people will go a white and pink transformer, oh dear me, but the little lines of blue and these areas of sort of the grey blue that break it up work unbelievably nicely. And what is amazing is that the QC, the build quality, has just gone through the roof. The articulation, full shoulder, joint and a ball joint on the shoulder, a ball jointed elbow. Nothing at the wrist, unfortunately, but it is tiny. A rotating head. That's on a swivel, it's not on a ball joint, needless to say, it's tiny. And on the leg, ball jointed hip, ball jointed knee, and ball jointed foot. Now that leads to a massive range of articulation. I think it can do the Kapow toy kick test. I saw Andy do the pictures of it. Yeah, it does a ninja pose, awesome. And just leaves a wide range of articulation, but it's just the detailing all over. It's really nicely sculpted. There's no real kibble to her either. She's just nicely done in every area. It's really just, you know when you, oh yeah, sorry, it's also got a waist swivel as well. Now some of these are parts of the transformation, but it's just nice to have these areas in it. And it's really weird. I came into this girl, not expecting much. And I'm really blown away with it. Whereas with the last one, with the Shadow Warrior, I was expecting great things. And I was massively disappointed. Now this is the casemate of Kingbat, who we reviewed recently. And Kingbat was, I think most people who watch that review will realise I was quite disappointed with. This one, however, I'm utterly blown away with. I couldn't actually recommend it highly enough. If you're going to buy one third-party toy this year, I'd be hard-pressed not to say this one, to be honest with you. And that's with things like the Munitioner Explorer having come out. Because this is just tidy and really nicely done. And comes with this amazing plethora of weaponry. These tiny little swords, which just look really nicely sculpted. Actually got detail sculpted into the hilt as well. Can be both held in the hand or lift up her arm. On the hip here, you can just about make out, because the light is not great for an almost white figure, is two little pins, pinpoint, and they just slot nicely on there. And that's something that this figure does so well, is everything can be stored brilliantly. It's much like the Shadow Warrior, but everything seems so much tidier in doing it. Yeah, we can have the swords on there like that. Now these weapons, cannony things, very similar to the pile drivers of the Shadow Warrior, can slot on these underarm ports. Sorry, I'll get that on camera. These underarm ports on the back of the arm to give her these massive cannons. Now, sorry, again, keep that on camera, shall I? Now, one thing this girl does do. These cannons actually have a slide in them, so you can push them back and make them look a little less massive. And one of the nice things that also works about that is that when you put them on her back, they don't stick up a mile above her head. They fit more in scale with the figure. It works really well. It's those added little details, and the gun, the handle, which I had real problems with on the last figure, the point has been made much larger, the hole inside has been made. It doesn't feel like an afterthought. It's actually a design point now, and she can come fully armed without actually having to hold any of the weaponry. You can stand up, girl. You can completely kit her out. You completely tool her up. It's fantastic. It's just so wonderfully done. I mean, perfect effect for me. Have absolutely knocked this out of the park. Now, transformation into gun mode. Let's get that out of the way. Let's get it done. Let's take a look at a target master mode. The swords come off. The cannons slot back onto the wrists. I'll show you a doody little bit with these in a second, and that can come off for the moment. Now, here we go. I love this. The swords, much like the weapons for the Shadow Warrior, the swords store in the gun. Not in the instruction manual, which is disappointing. I literally found that out by just going, oh, that looks a similar sort of size. And they have these little targeting sights to it. It's brilliant. It's just, if you couldn't tell, I'm kind of blown away with how nice this is. Right, shall we try and remember how to transform this girl? Rotate the head, and yeah, slot it down. That again fits much tighter and much nicer than the Shadow Warrior version. Rotate the arms up and why won't you slot together? Sorry, these are supposed to come in the middle a bit more. I do apologise, ladies and gentlemen. Technical difficulties while I try and remember what the hell's going on. Yes. Shall we do this right, shall we? For the good ladies and gentlemen. Ah, yes. That's it. They go that way. Do they go that way? Who knows if they go that way, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, they do, because then these panels fold, put them guns up, fold it down. Don't know why these ball joints are being difficult. Strange. Anyway. Sure, I've got something wrong in there. I do apologise if I have. And then, she's never been a problem before. She obviously doesn't like company. Talking like it's a real person. Oh, help me. These just fold up over the arms. There's pegs inside the back of the leg that fit into the hands. The legs actually clip together before I do that. Oh, not going well on the transformation. The legs clip together with a resounding click. Well, don't. Fold up. Pegs on the inside go into the arms. To the hand slots. There we go. Line that up. Feet then cover over those bits. You then push those turrets back. Fold her head out. Put the handle on. Put the other sword back in, where it shall stay this time. And then we have Rosanna in a target master mode after much faffing. And again, this just seems so much tighter than the perfect effect one. I know I've just gone through a real faff to get that girl transformed, but it's actually a lot easier than it looks. I've just made it look completely half-assed and tackily done. But she's really tidy. She's really nicely put together on in this mode. Everything seems to slot in. As I say, all the weapons are stored. There is nothing spare. There's nothing that's going to go missing. Handhold fits Ultra Magnus perfectly, both in the shoulder, where you take that off, and you can still attach the little gun at the top into the side. But, you know, this girl, I don't know, there's something about it, you just wouldn't store her in Target Master mode. I don't know, Ejector and Rewinder maybe, but this one really does speak volumes for actually sitting in robot mode. That's the word I'm looking for. Let's take that gun off for a second, so we can place it down there. So, there we go. That's been a slightly messy end to the review. I do apologise, ladies and gentlemen. But that's been me, King Grimlock, with Perfect Effect Ninja, aka Rosanna. A wonderfully sculpted, wonderfully detailed, perfectly coloured, and ultimately brilliantly engineered piece of kit. I'm utterly blown away by how nice this is. Anyway, we'll see you next time.